他飞去了。This is when I just pum 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 pum.
一个小月牙。今天要介绍一个在泳池里认识的朋友，他今天是84周岁的生日。他说他是一名医生，我以为他是外科医生，结果他是一名精神科医生。当我知道他的年龄以后，就更惊讶了。83、4岁，自己一个人生活在这儿。上个月他到了中国，准备开始在中国继续旅居半年。第一站是佛山顺德，是他的祖籍，但这是他第一次去。他一直在赞叹中国生活的便利。前几天他搬到了广州，如果你恰好遇见他，可以跟他打个招呼。他是一个非常健谈的人。用他的话说，这个年纪了，可能以后没有办法再进行这样长距离的旅行了。听着可能有点伤感，但他是一个非常乐观的医生，而且他非常健康。我想这跟他每天坚持运动有关系。这几个月他教了我不少东西，比如教会了我应该怎么调配一些酱料，怎么腌制肉类，怎么挑鱼，如何钓鱼。他的这种自我照顾的能力，让我对自己的晚年生活也稍微有点安心。我跟他进行了一次稍微有点正式的聊天，在他去中国的前几天。
All gone.
Oh, there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was when it first started. It was full. Oh, all the way. Yeah, yeah. No more. Here is very beautiful also. You know, very simple flower, but very beautiful. Very nice. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm an 83-year-old retired psychiatrist from the US and now living in Malaysia for a while because I choose to, and it used to be my home. I speak Cantonese, I speak Fujianese, I speak Chow Chow, and a little bit of Mandarin and English and Malay. Important turning point in my life would be finishing medical school and then deciding to go to the US. Oh, initially it was my grandmother because I was very young. I was probably about 5 years old because I remember she got a stool for me so I could stand up on the stool to work. I think that she felt that I didn't have anything to do in the house. It was after the war, post-war. So I was just basically hanging around, you know, and so she said, why don't you come in and help me? So I started and I learned a lot. I loved it. My son cooks regularly. My two daughters both cook. The one in Paris used to throw big parties in her house. She has a small house, but she has 20, 30 people in it. My younger grandchildren, all I have taught them skills to cook. I think it's a very nice skill. I have never been affected by the hardship of other people because I grew up in a very, very poor environment in Penang. And the people that were around me were very poor. Many of them were miserable and lived alone and felt very depressed. But I grew up in that particular environment. And one of the things that I felt was that I could learn from them. I would pick up skills from people who did not think that they have very much skills. And yet they have a lot of skills, it's just that they don't recognize it. If there's one thing that I can say that I value very much in my life, is that I am very, very curious. I like to learn anything and everything. I give you, this just came to my mind. I give you a ridiculous example. You know, there was a period of time in our lives in when I was living in Penang with my grandmother, and my father and my mother had moved to Singapore already at the time, and they were kind of doing okay, but not well established yet. And we used to about 3 days in a week, we will go to an aunt who is married to a fairly comfortable clerical man. You know, at the time, if you work as a clerk in a British organization, you're okay. You know, you have an income, and also so we would go there because we go there for dinner. But on the way back, we would go by, we would pass by two stores that made coffin. Now, in the old days, the coffin were made of solid wood. You know, I mean, they carved the wood, used big pieces of coffin. And I was very fascinated by that because they didn't use any tool. They used an axe. And then they were able to, and they were always, but they were very friendly to me. You know, whenever I went by and I look at them and I would look at, see what they did and all that, they never chased me away. They would put me aside so that I would not be in any danger, but they would just let me see. And then I would watch them. And I learned how to carve wood, you know, from the coffin makers because they carve it very, very nicely. I mean, right now you look at it and it's very scary, but in those days, you know, I mean, I would see it and, you know, it was a coffin. And then the outcome of that is that they would pack up a lot of the shavings and would give it to me in a pack, and then I would take it home as firewood. So, you know, I mean, I learned from them. They were very, very friendly. I mean, they were interested. They were not sort of like telling me, "You do this." I mean, they just let me watch, and I would just stand there and just watch them. So I learned a lot of things. So I'm very, very curious. I learned all kinds of things. I mean, anything that, and I think that saved me. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I learned right now. I learn.
Yeah.
You know, I still continue to learn. I continue to learn, for example, AI. I continue to read up on it and things like that. Oh, I mean, usually it's because we're in a neighborhood.
Oh.
You know, I mean, in those neighborhoods, everybody is about equal. So the kids all come out. And so we play games. We play badminton. We string a net through two trees, and then we play with it. And then we play table tennis inside a little area that does not have a lot of wind. And then we also play rounders, boys and girls together. And then some of the girls sometimes ran a lot faster than me. And then now swimming. Swimming is very safe because it's not so high impact. I do the gym mainly because actually at this time it's mainly because of correction. You know, so if I feel that this is a point that is weak, so I do it to strengthen now. Just right now I'm doing it to maintain my my life. You know, no longer become a champion of anything. If somebody in the 60s and the 70s, I would say just most important is to walk.
Walk.
Yeah, walk. Yeah, 走路. Not hike. You know, not active. Just walk, because I think it's very, very important to keep active, to keep the joints going. You know, I mean, if the moment you sit down for 1 week, you will find that you have already lost something. So I feel that it's important to just kind of like, even if you have nothing, you go out. But then there's never nothing when you go out. You know, there's always something. Like the other day, we went around after the breakfast, we went around and we saw so many fish, so beautiful. And then you see suddenly you see a monitor lizard, you know, and then that's interesting, you know. I mean, they sit like that. And I've never seen a monitor lizard from above looking at it to see how it swam, you know. I mean, it's interesting when it sticks the head up, it's like that. And then later on, when we walked to the side, then we saw a bigger one, you know, another monitor lizard. There's always something. You know, there's always some leaves, there's always some flowers. So if you walk and if you just open your eyes and you just look around you, you will always see something very, very, very interesting and very fascinating. Some of my friends, they have a different way of understanding this. I remember I go out with a friend of mine who has a girlfriend who knows me very, very well. And he told me, he said, "Oh, we're going to go for walking." He said that, you know, Susan advised me that walking with you, it means that you will stop wherever you see something pretty and you want to take photograph. I say, yeah, I mean, you go out and you see something nice, you want to record it, you know, and that's the interesting thing. Yeah. So I would suggest walking. I would also suggest cooking to kind of just do something in the house and to help to do some cleaning also. So to be active, yeah, that is what I would suggest, just to be active, but not run up a hill. I think with many of the people that I had seen who had gone through depression and came in to see me with depression, I see one thing, and the one thing is the loneliness. Yeah, they withdraw from people. And I think the most important thing is to engage in people, any kind of engagement, because everywhere you go, you will be able to learn something. You will be able to pick up something interesting. I mean, even though if you were to not interested in music, but you will sit down there, and suddenly one day you will find that 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 is really wonderful, you know. So to engage, to keep people around you, not many, you know, not a crowd. Nowadays, to write to them or to call them or to suggest to them, let's go out and then let's have a coffee or something like that. And I mean, communication and talking to people will help you with now sometimes with lifting yourself out of some of the depression. Sometimes, of course, I mean, some friends are not really good for you. They criticize you, they tell you what to do and all that. And those are not the right kind of people. But you want people whom you feel that they actually like you and that you like them, you know. I mean, they don't have to be very pretty or handsome, but somehow you like them. It means, number one, there's nothing that is worrying you a lot. If most things are going on okay, then that leaves you with a sense of peace. And with peace, then you can come with, then when you keep yourself busy and active, then it will bring about a certain joy, you know. The joy is to wake up in the morning and then say, ah, you know, I have this to do, I have that to do. But I don't have to have something that worries me too much, you know. Let's say, suppose I have a granddaughter who is not as engaging. But then, you know, it occurs to me that that's her style. Yeah, that is the way that she is, you know. So, which is fine. You know, I love her for it, and then that's the way, because she's a little bit more withdrawn, but she's not depressed. And then when I buy things for her, when I bring things, when I teach her, then she learns quite well, you know. But she's not as aggressive. She's not as forward. She's not as outgoing. But it's okay. So I don't think that that's something that worries me. You know, I mean, I think that people have their places and then how they find life and how they live. That's important. It is different, but I got very used to it. I think that by the time a child is 17, 18, they should be able to think very clearly for themselves. You know. They have very clear ideas. You know. And the ideas that they had were good ideas. You know, they were legal ideas. They were proper ideas, and that's what they want to do. And so I was sad to see them go. But then at the same time, I was happy to see that they have structured a life for themselves. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult. Sometimes money is hard. They haven't gotten a very good job yet, and so they are struggling a little bit. I keep in touch with them, and I'm happy for them because that's the time when, yeah, 他飞去了, they fly away, and that's good. And what I like very much is that they will always write to me, to tell me how they're doing. So that makes me very, very comfortable. Yeah. In America, at least, that's actually a very good system, and I encourage it, and I like it. Uh-huh. Now, you're talking to me as an individual. I'll tell you what goes through my mind. Okay, yeah. The first thing that goes through my mind for that day would be that I say, okay, what am I going to have for lunch? So how do I prepare? How do I prepare for lunch? Because you see, before I leave the house, I will take all the things out and put it all together. Because I enjoy cooking so much and I love cooking so much and I like what I cook that I already prepared. So I get them out, and then the meat I will leave in the refrigerator, but then I get the vegetables and I line them up. So every morning I have a good idea of what I will have for Wuchan. Yeah, I will think of what's the best way to cook this. Yesterday I had that, so today I will change it, and then I will do this. And then I also even think, this is crazy, but I even think of, oh, how do I match the color? Now that vegetable has some red in it, so that's very good. So I match it with this color, and the meat, I try to make it lighter color, and then but then it will be tasty. So now that's me. This is when I open my eyes and I think. So that's what I will do. And then by that time that I'm ready, I will just get up and I will go immediately. Before anything, I will go immediately to the kitchen to take all the things out and get ready. So now it's already up there. So by the time that I go back, I will just pum 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 put it together and it's all done. Yeah. So that's the first thing that I think about. Sometimes I will think about, oh, I need to go to the grocery store. So what's a good time to go to the grocery store? I go swimming, and then immediately after swimming, then it will be good time because it will not be very crowded on the road. So then I can call a grab and then go grocery shopping. But grocery shopping sometimes have a tendency to be a problem because you buy too much and too much to carry. So now I slow down on my painting, but when I was painting, a lot of the times I leave my painting right outside of my door, you know. So sometimes even when I get up in the evening, I turn on the light, I look at it, and I think about what I need to do with it, and then I go back in. So that day, then I think about, okay, this is what I want to do with that painting. I want to change this, and I want to add this, and then I also want to make sure, does it look like him? Because I paint portrait. Why doesn't it look like him? So I think about it, and then I go back and I lie down and I think about it. So, yeah, and then a good deal of the time before I get up is I think about what's happening to my wife in Milwaukee. sometimes I even pick up the phone and call her. You know, I mean, I just call her. Like this morning, I called her. You know, so basically, just to find out how things are coming along. You know? So that's
等着你回来，我等着你回来，我想着你回来，我想着你回来，等你回来让我开怀，等你回来别我关怀。你为什么不回来？你为什么不回来？我要等你回来，我要等你回来，还不回来春光不再，还不回来热泪满腮，两上燕子一回来，听见春花为你开。你为什么不回来？你为什么不回来？我要等你回来，我要等你回来，还不回来春光不再，还不回来热泪满腮。
no, just do it.
我等着你回来，我等着你回来，我想着你回来，我想着你回来，等你回来。